Final Justice. So, this is a Joe Don Baker movie that, for reasons I don't entirely understand, actually held the #1 spot in the bottom 100 for quite some time. Uh, I mean, for sure, it's not a good movie, but to think it's the worst movie, according to the Democratic ranking of the IMDb bottom 100, I don't think so. So basically what's going on in this movie is Joe Don Baker is playing a Texas Ranger. I assume he's a Texas Ranger. Who is chasing down this criminal who, through some reason or another, they both wind up going to Malta for whatever reason. And he's trying to chase down this criminal, and they're in Malta, and he basically gets up the shenanigans and diplomatic immunity and all this kind of stuff. So most of it is just following Joe Don Baker's character around the island, running into things, getting into firefights, and then getting slapped on the wrist by the official Maltese and his, officials back home, both telling him to stop doing that, and then they say stay in your hotel, and then he doesn't, and goes back out and does crap again. It's very repetitive. For sure it's very repetitive. So because it's repetitive, the plot drags on a bit, but, it's not a very good movie in concept to, take Joe Don Baker and then throw him in Malta for some reason. There must have been some reason. Maybe these people just wanted to go to Malta, like for vacation or something. They wanted to film a movie there. Yeah, I don't know. But this movie has a very good riff, Mystery Science Theater 3000, unsurprisingly. I think that's definitely part of why it's notable anyway. It is definitely a bad movie, and I think that gave it some more popularity as far as being a bad movie than maybe it deserves. There is a lot of lazy editing and some repeated shots in here, and as I said, the plot's pretty repetitive and sort of goes on and on and on. But it is, more or less watchable. It's sort of amusing to watch these old Joe Don Baker movies anyway, where you're supposed to buy this guy as the protagonist. I enjoyed Mitchell, which is another movie I'll get to a little bit more, as far as Joe Don Baker bad movies go. But, yeah, this is, I don't know, it's just sort of another one of these movies that's not particularly good, but also I don't think it's particularly outstandingly bad. One of the things that I don't know if this is just from the Mystery Science Theater 3000 cut, but there's a lot of really bad erasing of expletives throughout the movie. Like, particularly the one that I can think of is whenever they try to say son of a bitch. It's always son of a, and then clearly they said it, but then they just take it out of the audio. And I don't know if that was a television cut thing, or if that was actually, the way they play it in the riff is that that's actually what the final cut of the movie wound up like. I don't know, because I wasn't going to try to track down an actual copy of this movie. I don't even know if I'd be surprised. It might have a DVD release out there. But yeah, it does come off kind of clunky. The editing is at least usually what they do in television for movies that are adapted to television where they have to cover up something like that. Usually they'll throw in something that sounds vaguely like the word so that it's not just silence. Sometimes that's actually hilarious in itself, like with Big Lebowski and This Is What Happens When You Find a Stranger in the Alps. There's a few other instances like that are pretty famous. But it's better than just leaving just silence there. And that is really clunky when that does happen in the movie, and it happens a number of times. This might be one of those cases where they had to edit it down to get the rating that they wanted. I don't really know if that's actually what happened. Again, this might be a TV edit thing. But yeah, it is, there's a lot of things like that. The little things are just bad. Joe Don Baker actually himself is not bad in this movie. He's just kind of himself. He's a character actor that plays Joe Don Baker. The accessory characters, there's a lot of people that are clearly, at least it seems like to me, they just pulled people off the streets of Malta to be in the movie. And they, don't deliver their lines very well, and it's not very good. The sets aren't horrible. I mean, there's one bar that, for whatever reason, he keeps going back to. And that's, that's kind of the movie. Eventually, after going through these hoops so many times, he finally finds the guy that he's after, and there's big firefights and whatnot. Um, I don't know if this. I really don't think this is definitely not the number one spot in my opinion as far as the worst movie on this list that I've been through. But it's kind of middle of the road. There's bad things about it, but overall, I sat through it and watched it without pulling my hair out or anything. Um, a lot of little things going wrong. Lots of editing mistakes. Lots of kind of bad acting from the accessory cast. Um, just not a particularly enthralling plot to start with. So, yeah, there are problems in this movie, but it's not impossibly horrible. I'd recommend watching The Riff just because it's enjoyable enough. It's a pretty popular one. So, that is Final Justice.
Hold it! Right there. Joseph Palermo. Where is he? Think you can take me? Go ahead on. It's your move. Stupid with that kid.
Good. I'll blow his brains out.
Come on, let the kid go, you spineless bastard.
Come on, you bitch.
Look here, I'm running away. Come on. Let's talk.
I don't know where Palermo is. I don't know what you're talking about. Stay away from me.
Come on. Don't do anything.